how you doing?
Good.
The reason for this interview is because we interviewing parents that lost a child to either death or prison. In your situation, how did your what happened with your child?
He was killed. He was murdered.
What's his name?
Caprice Griffin.
Okay.
He was 19.
Oh, he was 19 when he passed away. How was he growing up? Like, what kind of child was he?
He was a child that, out of 4 boys, he was the main one I didn't have to worry about on the streets. Because he was the main one that never was that type of child. He never was at a dean's office. He never got a ticket. He never was in a gang. He started off being a father at a young age, and he continued to be the greatest father I know he was. Caprice was a Jesse White tumbler since he was 8 years old. He just liked the money. He was a little boy making money, getting checks before I was really making. He 8 years old getting checks.
So he was kind of like almost a born entrepreneur type.
That's all he was.
So can you like describe like the night that you got the call that when he was murdered?
Well, I got the call before I got the call. I seen my son, and he told me he was finna run out to Chicago and take his friend out there, and I never pulled up to my son and never sat car to car and talked to him for 20 minutes, just out the blue. He was in his car, I was in my car, we just sat there and talked. He had his 2 friends in the car, and that was the first time I ever seen my son. He lived with me, but outside, just pulling up and seeing him and just sitting there talking back. That was the first time, and I'm glad I did have that last moment with him. But he told me he was finna go to Chicago, and I told him don't. And he did. He said he'd be right back. It was 6 p.m. And literally 7 p.m. I got a call, said my son got shot in the head. All because he was from a town that they wasn't from.
So when you got the initial call, was it like what was running through your head? Like what was going through your mind when you got the call? Like
when I got the call, I don't really remember what happened. And I went crazy and was outside on the ground. When I realized and had to get myself up and to go to the hospital where my son was at. But the hospital treated me worse, and then they made me feel worse than anything. So it wasn't no comfort there either. They made his death worse as well.
So they kind of made you feel like he was just another
person that in Chicago that just got killed, and they didn't care. They told me if I walk in the hospital, if I scream or anything, they would put me out the hospital. They literally waited for me at the door and told me if I make a scene, they would put me out. And I asked them, did they know why I was there? They said yes. So I told them to get out of my face.
So, cause yeah, that's like a parent's worst nightmare. Coming to a scene or coming somewhere not knowing the what's wrong with their child. So, did he play like any other sports that he do?
He played basketball.
Play basketball.
Since 3rd grade.
Oh, okay. So like, was it people that he may knew did he know the people that he was with when he went to Chicago?
Yeah. His best friend was with him and another boy, the one that basically set him up. His cousin, the one that killed my son. So his best friend got shot. My son got shot. The boy in the back didn't.
Yeah, we hear a lot of stories like that.
And this, you have other kids walk in your door and with your kids, and they speak, how you doing? But this main child literally walked in and showed me different respect. Like, how you doing? Made sure I was always good. And that was the main one you have to watch. That's the one that killed my son. The one you feel like he's more safer with, you gotta watch. These kids don't have friends.
Yeah, that's something I try to at an early. I try to now that I kind of like go off of other people's stories and try to lead try to lead my daughter in the right direction with those type of situations. Because yeah, you're right. Friends can be the worst ones.
The friends is the worst. The worst.
So do he have any? You mentioned that he has other siblings. Do you have other siblings?
Yeah, I have 5 kids.
Okay. And you said he was like one of the ones that you didn't have to worry about too much.
Yeah, well, basically my oldest one, I really didn't. He's in the Marines. But Caprice, anything. I ain't have to school. I didn't have to worry about a dean calling me. You know, I ain't have no problems at all.
So he was a good student in school, and at an early age was.
He was literally training other kids to play basketball before he died every Tuesday and Saturday at a church out here in Joliet. He'll take his time, 2 hours, twice a week, and go and train other kids. And he was so loved and touched at that church, they gave us the gym at the church for free for his repast.
Yeah, I seen that he was a very loved person, and that's like usually like seem like the good do die young a lot of times. So do you like how did you cope with everything? How did you get past? I know you probably I know you're still coping with it, but how did you the initial coping? How did you get through that?
Well, basically, after I lost my son, I lost me. I didn't know who I was. I didn't want to do nothing for myself. I didn't even want to comb my own head. But right after that, before that, my mom just died, so I had to hold it up for the family. So then after that, 5 months later, my son was murdered. So after I'm trying to get myself out of a car from sitting there just drinking my life away and not eating for a month, my brother went into a major stroke. And he was in a coma for about a month, and we had to like really bring him back and take care of him. So 2 months later, my nephew, the same age as my son, 19, was killed right in front of me. All of us in Joliet. So basically, I never was able to grieve over my son because it was too much going on in that year. And I still haven't grieved. It comes out once in a blue moon. I get angry, I have anxiety. I cry out the blue, I be angry, I be happy. It's a feeling you can't describe. It just have to come out. And I know it's gonna come out, but it haven't came out yet. I'm just trying to stay strong. Because if I let it come out, I'm gonna be weak again, and I'm not trying to go back that route.
Yeah, that's something that I try to do. Like, I don't think about it a lot. I try to block it out of my mind as much as I can.
Yeah, I try to, but
so
I can't rest. And then I found out the detectives all this time told me they know the person who did it. They know all this, and it's been since 2018. And I call them probably every 6 months to get an update. And they tell me now that the boy don't even have a warrant, but they know who did it. Why don't he have a warrant? If y'all know who did it, they got statements on who did it. Why don't he have a warrant? So all this time, I'm worrying, like wondering, why ain't I resting? Why is I'm crying in my sleep? Why is I'm not, waking up with my blood pressure 200 over 110? I don't know why. Because my mind is not resting, because my son ain't resting, because his cuz out there still living free. No warrant. Not yet.
Mm-hmm. Do you feel like, so you feel like the justice system is...
It sucks. They all suck. They got my other son in jail right now. Yeah, I'm a mother with a son that passed, and I'm a mother that have a son that's in jail right now. And he's in jail for what? They got him in jail because he left house arrest to take care of his fiance with 3 kids that was pregnant with his daughter, caught COVID in the hospital, so he had to run out of another state to get his kids, and he's in jail because of that. Y'all quick to put somebody in jail for leaving the state to take care of his kids. But a man killed the person that's still out. Something wrong.
So, what is like something that you want to like share with other parents like that lost a child? What can they do to like kind of get over? Well, not get over, because we'll never get over it, to help them cope and try to get back to some type of normal?
Well, basically, that's kind of hard, because that's what I'm trying to figure out myself, is how to cope. Mm-hmm. Only thing I do is basically pray. Just pray. I pray every day. I had stopped praying for a minute because I was really angry. I didn't understand why God was letting all this stuff happen, but I realized it wasn't him. So basically, I just keep praying, and I think that's why I'm staying strong as I am, because I want to know what to do. I don't want to do nothing. I just want to sit at home. I'm too scared to do anything. I'm too nervous. I'm too nervous to even, I sleep with my phone next to my ear just in case I have a 21-year-old out there. I can't even sleep because he outside. It's like, how can I rest? I don't know.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about when you say that, because I'm kind of like that with my daughter. My son passed away, I kind of like real nervous about every little thing.
Yeah, everything. As long as I wake up sometimes, see him sleep there, I'm like, okay, he's safe.
Yeah.
But if he's not around me, knowing he's 21, knowing he's supposed to be out on his own, knowing all that, but it's kind of hard because you lost a child. I have a child that's gone. I have a child that's in jail. I have a child that's in the Marines for 9 years. I have 4 boys. I have 1 now.
So did you feel like with family, do you feel like did you disconnect from everyone and everything?
Yes, the family fell apart. Yep. Yep. Sure did. It's not the same. And that's what's more depressing, because I'm the one that, the auntie with the 2 nephews always at my house, and the 4 boys, my boys. Then I had their friend TJ that was always there. I always had the boys. And now it's just, don't have nobody. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Some of them moved out way, some of them here. And TJ not here no more either. It's a lot.
Yeah, this is like, I think this is like the same story for every parent, I believe, like, because a lot of things it seems so similar. My story, your story, it sounds so similar. Even though my son didn't pass away, like that, still the feelings are so similar.
Yeah, it's a feeling like you lost a part of you.
Yeah.
You lost a part of you, like you can't get that back. You can't. It's the difference. And nobody will understand. If you ain't lose that child, if you never lost a child, you can't even explain it to someone how I feel. They do. It's the worstest pain you can ever have. It's a pain that it hurts. It hurt.
Yeah, it don't seem real.
Your heart hurts all the time. It's like a pain in your heart that won't go away. It's like a heart attack, but you're not having a heart attack. You know what I'm saying? It's like that type of feeling. It's a pain that hurts. And it goes through your body and it hurts. And nothing can help it. Not a Band-Aid, not a patch, not nothing. Not a pain pill, nothing.
So, you got any questions you want to ask?
So do you feel lonely because you say your family fell apart? I would assume you don't have too many of them that you rely on after everything that fell apart. Do you feel lonely that you don't have when you are hurting?
Yep.
Anybody to go to?
Yep. My sister lived in Houston, so I was just out there with her. It felt good, but out here, it's like after my mom died, I did the Thanksgiving dinners, I did the Christmas dinners. I made all the big soul food dinners for everybody like my mama did, and everybody come to my house. It'd be like 20, 30. This year, Thanksgiving, it was not like that. Everybody just, everybody angry, and this person not talking. I have nobody at the house for Thanksgiving. That was the first holiday. Yeah, I feel very lonely.
So there's not too many, groups of like-minded, not like-minded, like situation people that've been through things like you've been through with losing your son in that fashion. Do you feel like if we had maybe like a government-funded agency, kind of like a AAA thing, do you feel like that'll help more mothers in a similar situation like yourself?
Yes. Yes. And that's what I wanted to do, something like that. I've been trying to get groups together, and mothers together, and even try to get a nonprofit business going, get these kids doing something with themselves. It's like a building I know that's just sitting out there that the city could say, hey, let's help you do this with the kids, and so these kids can have somewhere safe to go, especially like Chicago. Come on. People out there dying every second, kids, babies and all. Get these kids something to do. When I was a kid, we had skating rinks. We had other stuff to do. They took all the enjoyment away from all these kids that we had when we was kids to keep ourselves busy. These kids don't have nothing. Then when they do try to do something, they get harassed by the police. They can't even drive around no more. They're getting harassed. They're getting pulled over. My son got pulled over just because he was a black man with tits.
Yeah, my mom's in the process right now of making a youth center because all of them are seeming to getting closed down.
Yeah.
I don't know why getting closed down.
Yeah.
So she's in the process of doing that for all these similar reasons.
Yeah, it's like, okay, everybody talking about black-owned business. This is a black-owned business that needs to be out there. That's something that nobody ever thought about doing. Everybody opened up everything else. Let's open up a youth center. Let's do something for these kids. I'm down. I was sitting there and I wanted to do a basketball. My son loved basketball. He always wanted to open up a gym. I wanted to start a team in his name. I still want to do it. I'm not going to stop trying. I'm going to do it.
I know you said one of his closest friends set him up. Do you feel like a lot of kids in this generation, they fall around friends with bad influence? Do you feel like there's too many good kids who stray away from the teaching of their parents and get influenced by the wrong people?
Yes. You can raise your kids to be the greatest kid ever you think you did, but till they get to the wrong group of kids, they would change your kids. You know, yeah. That's exactly what they get with the wrong kids. And I think it's a lot of these parents' faults too. Something wrong. The parents don't see what their kids doing. I know if I see my 16-year-old son outside, or just he coming in my door looking like he did something, I think I would notice it. I don't see these little boys out here shooting guns and they walk into your house like they ain't do nothing. I don't get it.
Do you feel that's an issue with the younger generation?
Yeah, the parents. The parents is out here fighting with the kids. Then the police tell you, the parents, you can't hit the kids, but they can. They can hit our kids, they can shoot our kids, they can do all the chase our kids, tase our kids, but we can't do nothing to our kids, right? That's why they is the way they is.
Like, do you feel like they need some type of do you think a lot of the older generation, we kind of failed at with the younger generation?
Nope, I can't say that because I feel like I failed. Because if I say they failed, then I failed. Because I have a son that's got killed and I have a son that's in jail. So I can't fault the older generation because, like, the older generation, my age, it's just, I really can't fault, you can't really fault the parent, but you can. There's some parents out here that try their best to do whatever they can for their kids, but then you have parents out here, they ain't. Those are the ones you have to fault. Because I know I didn't raise my kids to be in prison or gone. I never even imagined none of them getting shot. I didn't even have to imagine none of my kids need to ride around with a gun for protection, but that's what people doing.
What would you say? What would you say to the parents who did raise their kids right, who did everything they could, and the kids just, chose a life for themselves, and the parents are left to blaming themselves. Maybe I didn't do enough, or
And I blame myself. So I understand. If there is out there blaming themselves for what their child did, I understand because I blame myself. Because I feel like if I never moved to Joliet, my son wouldn't be dead right now. I'm not from Joliet. I just live out here. But he got killed for that, So I blame myself. And everybody keeps telling me not to blame myself, but who else to blame?
So that's like me, I had like regrets. So that's like one of your regrets is moving here from.
And no, not really, because Joliet showed my son so much love. So much love. Mm-hmm. Like, he was in 8th grade when he started basketball at middle school. He lost his toes in a car accident. And the whole Joliet was there at the hospital from 5 o'clock in the morning to 2. Everybody was there since he been in 8th grade. Everybody showed me too much love in Joliet. After I lost Caprice, they basically paid for his whole funeral. Had a lot of donations coming in through Joliet. And a lot of people out here did support me in Joliet, but I just wish I never moved to Joliet because I feel like if he was in Chicago, if he was from Bolingbrook, it'd be the same thing. It's not really about because he's from Joliet. It's just the dude that did it was a little punk. Like, that was the reason why you killed him. He ain't do nothing to you because he living better than you, maybe. Jealousy. Maybe he wanted to live in Joliet. He got mad, lived in Joliet. I don't know.
You had to say something to the kids who are in the streets, kids who are living a life that's only go get them in jail or, end up dead. what would you tell them from a parent standpoint? How it, you know, how you said that you sleep with your phone, by your.
I've been telling these kids right now, and I know this is something like a book. I always wanted to write a book about my life. But for like kids out here, I've been through more than just losing kids. When I was young, I didn't want to listen to my mom. Being 14, 15 years old, go to Chicago, I got raped. You know, these girls out here want to run away and be with these high-headed little boys, don't want to listen to the mom, and then what's going to happen to you? What happened to me? I got raped by 7 guys. And then after that, you know, I start having kids, and then I lose a kid from the streets because our boys, these boys, don't know how to fight. They want to pick up guns and shoot at each other, and for what reason? I don't know. And they ain't just shooting the person they trying to shoot. They shooting innocent people. Shooting females, you shooting kids, you shooting adults. They shooting just anybody. They need to just put the guns down. The girls need to go home with their parents. Start running these streets after these boys, setting up these boys for the boys. There's a lot of stuff that's going on with these kids that they just need to sit the hell down. But the gun, how they getting the guns though? Where they all coming from? That's what I want to know. You got to be 18 to get a damn card. How they getting a gun?
That's a whole nother, yeah, that's another story there.
They said, I can't even get a gun and I got a card. I can't just get a free gun. These kids get free guns, all kind of guns. I can't get one. I got a card.
And the type of guns they're getting.
And the type of guns they get.
Yeah, it's something that's a.
Like, wow.
Yeah, there's a lot of it's done purposely.
Yeah, it's purposely. Exactly. And the kids doing it purposely. They letting the people that's giving it to them on purpose do. They know what they want. They know what they're doing. They're giving it to them, and the kids doing what they want them to do. Kill each other.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we like Black Lives Matter. Yeah, I'm with the Black Lives Matter, but it's about what about black on black crime? Y'all keep marching about Black Lives Matter, protest when these kids getting killed. There's march for that. There's march when somebody else gets shot. March for that the whole damn century. Why didn't it take the whole century to march for that? Why it take a century to march when a damn officer kills somebody? I don't understand that one either.
Yeah, nah,
You have a baby that's got shot in the car, and then nobody is like a little march, but there ain't the whole century didn't march. You ain't watching the news, everybody marching over this baby that just got killed. No, you marching because this man just got shot by a police officer. Well, we killing each other, so they giving the police a reason to kill us. They say, we don't care. Of course they gonna kill us. They looking at us like we don't care. And that's sad. Black people y'all making us look like we don't care about our lives. And that's sad. Because we do. Maybe they don't. Maybe the person that's shooting and killing people needs to just shoot themselves if they don't want to be here. Leave everybody else alone.
So, I'd like to say thank you for coming to share your story. I'm hoping that somebody gets something out of it before they go and take somebody's life. Hopefully they change their mind with your story. Thanks.
Any last remarks you want to say to anybody who's gonna hear your story, who may be going through a hard time, dealing with loss?
I just want to say to all the parents out there that did lose a child, families, everybody, I'm so sorry. That's all the words that I know to say. It's not gonna get better. To me, Everybody say it get better, but it don't. It don't get better. Only thing you can do is just fight for betterness in this world, but the feeling ain't gonna get better. But I am truly sorry for everyone that lost a child, or a nephew, or a niece, or anybody. It's hard in over stupid violence of no reason. When you have somebody else's child take your child and their child still home.
I just gotta say this real fast. So go back because you say you got raped. Do it. So that makes you then with your son. That makes it more hard to trust
People. Yeah. Yeah, I already didn't trust a lot of people from that, especially men. You know, that's why I always stayed a single mom for a long time. All their lives, basically. They never seen a man live with us. That's why I always kept it that way, because I couldn't trust people around my kids, basically. Because if these men hurt me, then I can find another man that I'm with and don't know what he probably do to my kids when I'm not home. I couldn't trust nobody. So basically, yeah. But I got justice for that. We put all of them in jail.
I was just asking that because that just makes sense why you probably the way you are with that trust thing.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, thank you again for coming down and sharing your story.
No problem. Thank y'all for having me.